We break the all-time high properly. We run through the fibs, and let's face it, 69 to 100,000 is nothing, right? It's only like a 50% gain for Bitcoin, which it does quite regularly. So all-time high, sure. What the top is like. Currently, the model says 215, right? But that's not. We're going to be at that price. It's that that's the upper bound price for Bitcoin using this model, and that you only get that on a runaway parabolic mania phase top, which we never got, and really I don't think we'll get that again. So I don't think if we this is the prediction was if we have a mania phase, it'll hit the upper bound because that's what all the mania phases are hit, and the upper bound currently earlier this year it was tracking. You didn't know what it would end up at, but it was tracking it between 200,000 and 400,000, and now we're into December and it's $216,000 right now. That's the upper bound, but we haven't had the mania, so we're actually right in the middle of the zone between the bottom and the top, and it's very cool right now. But having said that, to answer your question, going into next year, it's I think one thing we're going to learn is that the 4-year cycles are dead. And then we'll probably have to decide whether it's lengthening cycles, which I don't think. Lengthening cycle, by the way, is like this idea that there's more and more weight in the system. So these oscillations of bull, bear start to be, bigger momentum in longer time frames. Maybe we won't learn that this year. We're about to escape the gravity of the halvening, and we're going to enter a new orbit around traditional assets, and that is like a decade-long cycle, and so it's binary. I think it's binary, and we go from 4 years to a correlated asset to traditional, and we have little wavelets, which are our internal sort of infrastructure, like pulses, which are looking at this, it looks like every six or 8 months that's happening right now. So I think it's like binary. We go from 4 years to 10 years, and little wavelets on top of that. If we break the all-time high properly, we run through the fibs, and let's face it, 69 to 100,000 is nothing, right? It's only like a 50% gain for Bitcoin, which it does quite regularly. So all-time high, sure. Where will it go? Let's have a look. The stock to flow still, really, to me, stock to flow is just this really nice chart that figures out the progression of the price increase. There's a good narrative model around it, around scarcity, and he's using that, but pretty much the linear regression he does on it is basically the method in which he just tracks the current growth rate of Bitcoin, and we can just continue to do that. And I would say we will be right in the middle of it. It's like $100,000 by the end of it's about $100,000 by the end of next year, and whether we whip up or down, it could go much higher and it could come back. But roughly the middle line is somewhere around 100,000, just eyeballing it. So we had that crazy run up late 2020, and it's taken us most of this year to cool off from it. And it wasn't it wasn't overheated until such time as May, when everyone dumped their coins. Actually it was a fair valuation of Bitcoin at that sort of $60,000, but then everyone dumped their coins, which is very different. Prior tops were on-chain valuation models were 1/3 of the price that the market was trading at. So it was very different this time. It was fundamentally people dumped their coins, so the fundamental valuation dropped. The kind of things we saw in 2017, which was, it started earlier than 2017, but that particular cycle was a 100x on Bitcoin. And of course, we weathered immense volatility. And the average person on the street will think 100x in that time frame. It's just stupid. It's like there's something wrong with that. Like it's a scam. And they're much more interested in lower volatility and something that's a reliable gain. And I know that, particularly family offices in the US, they're much more interested in the gains that Bitcoin promises to make, not what it has made, which has been higher, but the promises make are roughly currently about 110% annualized per year if you follow the trajectory that the stock to flow model projects going forward. It's 110% annualized, right? So that's pretty high, and it's believably high as well. Like you can do that in exotic instruments, but the downside risk is very. We've just pulled back. How much is it? Mid 30%, like in a matter of weeks, and so I'm not so interested in experiencing the downside. They'd much rather have less risk, and they don't care necessarily about the 100x. It's really about the risk-adjusted returns. And particularly, if you put yourself in their shoes, you're managing 100 million or multiple hundreds of millions. You don't want to see your portfolio swing downwards like that. Well, retail can handle that if they're hardened hodlers. But once imagine losing $30 million over 3 weeks in a particular drawdown if you're fully exposed to Bitcoin. That's not really on managing that size of money. So as this thing matures, I think I agree. It's like it becomes more attractive, and I mean even Michael Saylor said that the high net worth want to buy the top. Like that, they don't want to buy Bitcoin when it's like a $4 billion asset class. They want to buy it when it's above $1 trillion because it's sufficiently de-risked. Whereas we just want to buy low.
Yeah.
We want to buy it at $1, right? But these guys are very sophisticated around risk.
Before we continue, help us clicking that YouTube like button and subscribe now to our channel. This shows the algorithm that you valued this information. And it helps us spread that message. Sharing is caring. And now, let's continue.
Do you want to know one thing about crypto? I made over 3,000% in profit in a few weeks. Fact is, the traditional financial system, the traditional money system makes you poor, not rich. If you want to earn $500,000, $1 million, you have to wait until you're 50, 60, 70 in the traditional financial system, and you probably will still be broke. And you will be old. This is not a sexy combination, as you can imagine. But the question is, how can you start in crypto and make these profits? Where to invest? Where to start? My name is Gunnar and I'm from Germany, as you can hear, and things are a little bit different in Germany. More about that later on. Fact is, there are lots of different cryptocurrencies. It's a gigantic universe where beginners and professionals get easily lost. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. There are 7 key steps you need to follow to become successful in this market. You have to know them, and if you fail one of them, it's literally impossible to succeed in this market. Just an example, one of the key points is your exchange, and one of the biggest are, for example, Binance and Coinbase. These are trusted and well-established exchanges, but, and this is a big but, you won't find the super profitable coins on those exchanges. The unknown super profitable coins that get gigantic profits are not traded on those kind of exchanges. They are traded on much smaller insider platforms that are barely known. And I can tell you what those super secret exchanges are and why they are so profitable. And another super important thing are the right information sources. The point is, the internet is gigantic. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube channels, blogs, pages, and much more. And there are also market makers and influencers. For example, Elon Musk, he is not a crypto guy, but the moment he recommended Dogecoin, it went through the roof, to the moon, so to say. But why did he recommend it? Where did he hear it from? He didn't hear it from newspapers. And believe me, he is listening to someone. But you have to know who, and you have to react before he is reacting. This is really, really important. And these are only 2 of the 7 steps you have to follow in order to be successful in crypto. And if you want to know all of these steps in much more detail, and if you want to have a comprehensive checklist, here's what you should do. There is a link below this video. Click on this link and you will get the opportunity to subscribe to my channel. Click on the link and you will see a video where I explain the next steps. So see you soon. Click on the link now. I'll see you there.